I'm Shannon McGee with Network in Action, National Network Connect. And today I have Gwen Weiler with Liberated by Light. Thank you for joining me, Gwen.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So I'm really interested to hear your story. You're launching a new endeavor after years of experience in this space. Tell me a little bit more about Liberated by Light and how it came about.
Yes, I would love to tell you about it. So, Liberated by Light, we are an organization that helps people with behavioral addictions find relief. Primarily, we kind of use a lot of the principles that you'll find in the 12-step program that you find in Alcoholics Anonymous. So, I had moved through this program, not Alcoholics Anonymous, but I moved through a different 12-step program and found that there were a lot of things that were being done right and a lot of things that were being done wrong. And for me, it was kind of a miracle that I found my way through it at all. And so I've kind of made it my mission to use the tips and tricks that I learned in my recovery process and share them with other people to shortcut their recovery process. I was stuck in a cycle for decades, not knowing my way out, even though I was familiar with the tenets of the 12-step program, because there were so many things that I misunderstood or that were being misrepresented by very well-meaning service agents. And so, like I said, I've kind of made it my mission to try to help others in that space and shortcut it as much as I can. There are a lot of resources that I offer, a lot of one-on-one conversations I'm happy to have. My keystone that I am so excited to talk about is the retreats that I offer, which are a great place for people to come and get that hands-on experience of the steps and how to use them and apply them in their everyday life to move through the different cravings and addictions that they have, but also how to kind of moderate the different situations in their life that end up being triggers for them to move into their addiction. So it's really great, and I'm so excited to talk about it.
I love your passion for helping others through a process you've already been. So, as you said, you went through it and you struggled, and sometimes in programs, some of the support staff might not be fully in recovery. And so I love the fact that you're looking to do these, not just the one-on-one coaching mentoring, but the retreats, the idea of, hey, let's come kickstart this, right?
Mhm.
With I've been there and you have questions and how can I support you and show you what's possible. So what are some of the typical behavioral addictions that you find that you're dealing with more often? And maybe are there some that you don't, specialize with?
Right, absolutely. So my particular one was an eating addiction. That's something that does not get the respect it deserves for sure. And just to give you a little bit of an anecdote, a friend of mine recently came to me tearfully crying because her husband was just diagnosed with diabetes and he's kind of spiraling out of control. I have a cousin who died from complications with type 2 diabetes, and from a research perspective, it is obesity that is the biggest epidemic in our country that is leading to the most causes of mortality. And so it does not get the respect it deserves, it for sure. This is something that I spend a lot of space in my research. And it's so interesting because a lot of times, especially in that eating space, people look at it as, well, it's just the decisions I'm making at meal times. And I have to tell you from my own experience of somebody who topped out at well over 300 pounds, I have since lost, 100 plus pounds. And it's just, that's not something that's happening at meal times. And I think similarly, there are a lot of behavioral addictions that we look at that seem to be almost socially acceptable, whether it's gaming or pornography or gambling, all of these things that happen in secret, but that can destroy families. For mine in particular, it was something that wasn't just a Gwen problem. It was something it affected the dynamics of my family. It affected so many different things in my ability to engage in my life. It affected my career. And similarly, anytime we're in this space of behavioral addiction, addiction is used as an escape, and it is something that we're using to cope, but it's a really hurtful coping strategy that adds to the problem more than it does solve it. And so it's just this space where there just has to be more tools and resources to help people cope with the things that they're moving through and addictioning through. And so, yeah, it really anything that's kind of like I said, outside of drugs and alcohol, because that has, some other medical implications. But outside of that, anything that you're stuck in a place where you mean to be better than you are and you just keep failing. And for me, a lot of times that looked like promises I was breaking to myself, to my family, even to my God, that I just couldn't keep no matter how hard I tried. So now, being on this side of recovery, I'm so excited to say that I am finally the person I meant to be, but somehow couldn't become. And that's kind of what I'm doing, is trying to connect with those people who try to be better than they are and just don't have the resources to get there.
I love it. Well, Gwen, if someone wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way to reach you?
The best way to reach me right now would be email. That's a great way. I respond very quickly. And yeah, or if you want to find me on my social media platforms, that's another great way to connect and start a conversation.
Awesome. Do you want to go ahead and leave your email address here?
Sure. My email address is liberatedbylight2023@gmail.com. Again, that's liberated, Liberated, by BY, light, LIGHT 2023@gmail.com.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for joining me today, Gwen. I'm excited about what you're doing to serve others, and
Thank
thank
you.
you.